What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Nerd Cave podcast. I am one of your hosts, Derek Diamond, joined along with
Robbie Rawls.
Robbie. We're not in the studio today.
We're not. We're actually outside in nature, if you can actually see that.
We're live on location.
We are.
In downtown Milton, Florida.
It's fun. This is actually one of our first Pokemon, I guess, the lure events where, we just come and drop lures for the great people of Milton, Florida.
Yeah, we've been here. We're recording at 7:20 p.m.
Mhm.
We've been here since 5. Pretty decent turnout.
I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 Pokestops that's in this immediate location, so we've been dropping lures whenever they've run out, and we've had a few people come up and talk with us, so it's been a fun event. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a little bit better if it was, not 90 degrees for the majority that we were out, but it's, the sun's going down, it's cooled down a lot, so
Yeah.
it's a lot better now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Zach could not be with us. He's had a very long week of band
Very
camp,
busy.
so he is resting, recuperating, and getting ready for another week. But we're here, holding down the fort, and I did want to get started because we've never really discussed Pokemon Go like in detail on the podcast, which is shocking.
Very shocking because we all enjoy it.
Yeah.
but-
So I wanted to start. I left a question on the Nerd Cave event that we did, just saying, hey, we'll be recording the podcast. If you have any questions, leave them here, kind of like we do on our Facebook group, which you can find at facebook.com/group/nerdcavenetwork.
Or you could just search Nerd Cave Network in that handy-dandy search bar, and
Exactly.
we'll pop up.
So first question is from Austin Hooks. Who is your favorite Pokemon? There's a lot to choose from.
There is. I have always used the fire type Pokemons in pretty much every game I've played, and the Charmander to Charizard evolution was always one of my favorite ones. But playing Pokemon Stadium, I have to tip my hat to Gengar.
Gengar, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's ghost type, so no normal attacks can hit it and stuff like that. So I mean, I always ended up using that one a lot. Once I got it, traded over and could finally evolve it, it was always one that kind of stayed close to my heart because it helped me take down a lot of gym leaders. And
Well, really, it's the only type that can combat Psychic.
Yeah.
In the original games.
So
That's a very good choice.
thank you.
I like
thank
that.
you.
Mine is very close. It's really a 1A and 1B. But because he is a starter, I will go with Squirtle. I've always been a fan of the water types. 9 times out of 10, as you can hear the train near us. But
We're live.
yeah, we are live. So I've always been a fan of the water type. Water's my favorite. And I always go with the water starter.
Yeah.
And he's a turtle. Who doesn't like turtles? And growing up a Ninja Turtles fan, I think, helped with that.
And you have the Squirtle Squad.
Yeah, he has really cool sunglasses, which I want a pair eventually just so I can see how bad I look in them. But,
I think you'd look beautiful.
well, I appreciate that. A really close second is Mewtwo.
If we're going with seconds, my favorite is the lovable Psyduck.
The biggest troll in Pokemon
I'm pretty
history.
sure that's why I liked him, especially in the show. Like, there's one, real iconic scene where he's, they're taking the picture, and he goes and sets the timer, and he waddles, and as he's about to take the picture, he falls. All you see is Psyduck laying on the ground, and then everybody else in the picture.
He was amazing in that show.
He was great comic relief.
Yeah, he was. He definitely was. Let's see. We've got one more Pokemon question from Bethany Parker. What are some positive things you were seeing that is resulting from this game? And this is really the biggest thing to me. My answer to that question is it's getting people out there that would normally just be, as we got a Pikachu here
Pikachu
off
over
camera.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. It's getting people out there, getting
Yeah.
people active. Most people would just sit at home and play video games. But with this one, you have to go out. You have to go, in this case, you have to go to downtown Pensacola, or you have to go
To the Riverwalk
yeah,
in
to
Milton,
the Riverwalk
Florida.
here to get Pokemon. You can't just sit at your house and get them.
Yep.
And like with hatching eggs, you have to walk 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10. It's getting people out there. Like anytime I go out to run now, I turn the app on so that it counts towards hatching an egg. Like I hatched 3 eggs the other day.
And
Just running.
And that's awesome because you do have a lot of people who do struggle with, trying to keep weight off, and, that definitely leads to health issues. And being the nostalgic game that everybody grew up loving, like you look around here, you're seeing people anywhere from ages, 10, 15, all the way up to 40, 50, maybe even 60. So, I mean, it's just reaching a wide variety in age-wise. The biggest story that touched home with me the most is there was this Army vet who had struggled with PTSD so much that he couldn't even go outside of his house. But he grew up loving Pokemon and all that stuff. And when this game came out, it helped him go out into the world with his child. So him and his child was actually able to go out to a park for like the first time since he was born. So, hearing stories like that, and when you hear that and people who are, attacking people for playing Pokemon Go, like, you're a loser, you need to go get a life and stuff like that, I always tell them that story, that, this game is helping more than it's hurting.
Yeah, it goes to the whole thing. People just seem to dislike things for the sake of disliking them. If
Trying
you
to be the
don't,
cool kid.
If you don't like it, then just don't play it.
Exactly.
And leave everyone else who loves it alone.
Yep.
Is really what I have to say. But it's just the concept of it. I remember hearing about it, and I was like, this could be one of the coolest games ever.
I agree.
And it's spread like wildfire. Like, so many people are playing this game. We've seen when the game's available in like Australia or Japan, the servers go down because that many people are playing it. And yes, it's frustrating, but it's also kind of cool knowing that something like that is just so popular and it's bringing people together.
I agree. Another awesome thing is people who are playing this game, like, you might not know this person walking down the road, but you have something that's connecting you to them. Everybody's playing Pokemon, so you can walk up and say, hey, what team are y'all? Mystic.
Yes.
See?
Go Mystic.
And then you have people who are Team Valor that you don't really listen to them. But see, this is what you get from this game. You have people who are able to connect, and it's just so awesome. Like, strangers you have never seen before, and you can just have a conversation about Pokemon. Who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah, exactly. And it's only going to get bigger as they release more updates and they add, Generation 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth.
Oh, my gosh.
How long do you see this game lasting? Like, do you see maybe the popularity waning a little bit once the nostalgia wears off?
I see some of the, I don't want to call them, like, not, like, fans from the beginning, but people who are just kind of caught up in the trend. I could see some of them trickling off, but you just have so many people around the world, in the U.S., in the U.K., in Asia, that grew up loving this game. And as long as, Niantic and Pokemon and all them don't do anything like with an update to make things worse, I could see this being something that's, that's going to be trending for ages to come.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the more they have to add stuff fairly consistently, though.
Which they've already talked about, adding the ability to trade with people, being able to battle with people. So seeing that come into play would be, fantastic. But one thing I really want them to fix is the step counter. I want to know how close I am to a Charizard, or how close I am to that ever-elusive Pikachu.
Which in the update that just came out today as we're recording this, they removed the footprints, which I think is very good.
It is good because, you can't complain about it as much anymore. But, I want them to hurry up and figure out what's going on in the coding that's making this not work, because that actually helped me catch a crap ton of the Bulbasaurs that I caught, because I would remember I would walk outside my house and I'll start walking to the right down the road and I'll see the paw prints go up. So I'll turn around and walk the opposite way. And, it helps you figure out where they are instead of having to walk, 300 meters in every direction.
Definitely. But I hope this game keeps getting bigger. I think it will.
I do too.
I've loved it. I've had it since day one, and it's been great. I actually lied. We have one more Pokemon-related question.
No.
This is from our good friend, Mr. Derek Daniel.
Okay.
Shout out to Derek Daniel. In the spirit of Pokemon Go, since you can only have 6 Pokemon on you at one time, and if wrestlers were Pokemon, which 6 would you choose to be your team? I responded with, can I just have 6 John Cenas?
Who wouldn't want 6 John Cenas?
But then he said, but how would you see any to catch?
That is very
To
true.
which I said, touche.
Very good.
Which is very true. So I'll start off.
Okay.
I would have John Cena because he never loses. You got to have, he's kind of your all-around, all-around performer. You got to have someone like The Undertaker. So reliable and can just strike, and
I would see him being more of a ghost type.
like a Haunter or a Gengar, something like that. You got to have your quickness. So you got to have Rey Mysterio. Got to have Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
You got to have Randy Orton. He's like the Ekans or the Arbok. He's the Viper. You never know when he's going to strike.
You're taking every one of mine.
We can have the same people.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, so that's 4. I think you got to have your young upstart. So I think you got to go with someone like a Seth Rollins, who is, again, an all-around performer. Maybe still a little unproven, but he can get the job done. I see him being, who would Seth Rollins be? He's a villain right now, so maybe a dark type. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it on types. And then I'd round out my team with just, if all of them fail, I would go with the one who I knew would not, and that would be the Conqueror himself, Mr. Brock Lesnar.
It's a good one.
He would be, Machamp would be scared of him.
Oh, yeah, I agree. One that I would definitely throw in there would be kind of like my Machamp or Machoke, The Rock.
Oh, The Rock, yeah.
You see what I did there with the Rock type? Let's see. Just because his size, I would say Andre the Giant.
Yep.
I was also going to say Rey Mysterio. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The Rattlesnake, yep.
My Ekans.
You're going with the legendaries. I like it.
They're my legendary Pokemon. Let's see. I probably should have read that question so I could have been more well-informed. Well, the Great Khali would be a good one. He'd be like my meal tank. I would use Rollout all the time with him.
He would be your magic card.
Great Khali used Chop of Doom. Not very effective.
Nothing happened. I think you got one more.
Why not go with Triple H?
Time to play the game?
He'd be like my Ninetales.
Yeah. That were both good choices.
Appreciate it.
I like those teams. But no, I think Pokemon Go is just been, in closing, I'll say that it's just been really amazing to watch this grow. And we've even read there's going to be like a Harry Potter type game. So I think we're going to see a lot of Go type games. But I don't know if any of them will be able to match Pokemon, though.
I don't know. Excuse me. If the Harry Potter Go is for sure thing, which we're not sure on at this point, I think that it could possibly come close or even completely overshadow Pokemon, because there is such a fan base behind Harry Potter that is just incredibly just crazy to think of.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it is coming out, I'm totally down for it.
Absolutely.